Hello there, my name is Luke and welcome to the Matchday 8 review of the non-league season. So the first game that I'm going to talk about in the Vanarama National League today was between Aldershot Town and Tranmere Rovers. And Tranmere Rovers were unbeaten until this point, but they've lost that unbeaten streak as they've lost 3-1 to Aldershot. It was 1-1 right up until the 79th minute when a Scott Rendell penalty put Aldershot 2-1 up, then they scored as well in about the 84th minute to end up winning the game 3-1 and moving Aldershot up from 5th to 3rd in the league, and Tranmere, they've lost their top spot. So with Tranmere losing today, if Forest Green won, then they could overtake Tranmere into first place, and that is exactly what they did. A 2-1 victory against Chester, away from home. A great result for Forest Green, moving them up to their desired position of first place. They've got one of the biggest budgets in the league, and they're at last, for the first time this season, in first place. And finally, in the Vanarama National League, one result that I wanted to mention was between two relegation candidates for this season, both in the relegation zone before today. It was between Guiseley and Braintree. Guiseley had lost all 7 of their games so far, and they have finally picked up their first point of the season with a 0-0 draw against Braintree. I don't think they've ever been so happy with a 0-0 draw in their life, but it's their first point and they're off the mark. So now looking over to the league table in the National League, Forest Green have leapfrogged Tranmere into first place. Both teams on 19 points, but Forest Green are ahead on goal difference. Aldershot Town, who beat Tranmere, are now in 3rd with 16 points. Lincoln and Macclesfield make up the playoffs, both on 15 points. Then moving down to the relegation zone, Braintree and Guiseley, they're still in the relegation zone. Braintree are in 21st with 6 points. Woking are in 22nd with 4 points. Southport in 23rd also with 4 points. And Guiseley now off the mark, down in 24th, but they have now got that 1 point. Now moving down to the National League North, and the first game I'm a bit biased on because it involved Kidderminster Harriers, who I obviously support, and they were playing away at Darlington. And both teams were in the playoffs before this game, Darlington in 4th, Kidderminster just below in 5th, and we managed to go and win 1-0, a goal from Arthur Ganone, I think about the 14th minute, ensured that we would take all 3 points back home to Worcestershire. Really good, really happy with that. It's moved us up to 3rd, although we have now dropped down now that all the games have been played on Saturday. So we have now got 17 points from 8 games, and a really good day, and I'm really happy with that. So the second game in the National League North that I'm going to talk about is between two struggling teams in Stalybridge and Nuneaton. Now Stalybridge had just sacked their manager because of the poor run that they're on. They've lost, I think, 6 games in a row before this game. They got a win on the opening game of the season, and they've lost every single one of their other games. They've kept that record up with a 4-0 home loss to Nuneaton. Nuneaton's first victory of the season. They're one of the few full-time sides in the league, but they've got a really young team, and they've struggled this season. However, they've got a 4-0 victory today. 2 goals from their captain and centre-back Calvin Langmead, who was with Kidderminster Harriers last season, and he was rubbish, but he's got 2 goals today. And it's a great result for Nuneaton. They've finally got their first victory of the season. So the next game that I'm going to talk about was between Fylde and Gloucester. And now Fylde were top of the league before today, and Gloucester have also made a really good start to the season, and it ended in a 2-2 draw. So a respectable result for both teams. I think Gloucester will be happier than Fylde. They got an 88th minute equaliser to take a point back home to Gloucestershire. So looking over to the National League North table, in first place is Salford City, the newly promoted side, and now top of the league with 20 points from 8 games. What a great start they've made. In second place is AFC Fylde, who've dropped off that first place after a draw today. They are on 18 points. Similarly, are Harrogate. They also got a 2-2 draw today. They are also on 18 points. In fourth place are my team, Kidderminster Harriers, really happy with that actually. 17 points from 8 games. And in 5th place are Chorley, also on 17 points from 8 games. So looking down to the bottom of the National League North, and there are 4 teams that all have 3 points. They are Worcester, Altrincham, Bradford Park Avenue and Stalybridge, and they are separated in that order by goal difference. So Stalybridge are bottom with the worst goal difference. They've only scored 4 goals this season, and that's probably the most worrying part of them being bottom of the league. Bradford Park Avenue are second bottom, Altrincham are third bottom, and Worcester are just out of the relegation zone on goal difference. So the first game that I'm going to talk about in the National League South is one that really catches the eye, and it's a 5-0 victory for Welling United away at Concord Rangers. 2 teams that were in the relegation zone before and even after this game actually. Welling United, thanks to a second half hat-trick from Coombs, move on to 5 points from their first 8 games, and Concord Rangers, they stayed bottom. So the second game that catches the eye is an even more emphatic victory, and it was East Thurrock United, a newly promoted side, playing away at Truro. and winning 6-0. 4 goals in the first half from Rate meant that they would go to half-time 4-0 up, and the game was already won then. So the third game that I'm going to talk about in the National League South was between Hampton and Richmond and St Albans. Now this was a game against two teams that were right near the top of the league before the game, and it was the newly promoted side Hampton and Richmond Borough that ended up winning 4-2. What a great result that is for them. It puts them on 19 points from 18 games, joint top with Maidenhead. And as I briefly mentioned there, Maidenhead are now only top on goal difference due to a 0-0 draw away at Dartford. So the league table now is looking like this. Maidenhead are top of the league on 19 points, ahead of Hampton and Richmond Borough on goal difference, as I mentioned. Poole Town, another newly promoted side, they're doing incredibly well. They're on 17 points from 8 games. St Albans City are now on 16 points from 8 games as well, and Bath City are on 15 points from 8 games, and they make up the playoffs. Looking down to the relegation zone, Welling United, despite their 5-0 victory today, they are still in the relegation zone. They're now in 20th place with 5 points from 8 games. In 21st place is Oxford City with 4 points from 8 games, and bottom of the league is the team that Welling United beat today, Concord Rangers, on 2 points from 8 games. So that's it for my matchday review of matchday 8. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.